Let's return now back to Australian politics. Joining me, as he does every Monday, is former Howard Government Minister Peter McGauran and also Simon Banks, the Managing Director at Hawker Britain. Gentlemen, great to see you both. Peter, what's your read of today's news poll? Lukewarm response to the budget, but the government still ahead, in fact, extending its lead on a two-party basis.
Yes, but not by the amount or the level the government would have wanted. Kieran, it's too early to say whether or not the budget's going to be a medium or long-term success. You could give it some praise for its immediate sugar hit of last week. But I am concerned that the government is underestimating the economic literacy of Australian voters, which in my opinion, is the highest in the Western world. And visiting American and European politicians often comment on it, that our public commentary and newspaper space is given over to economic analysis, unlike anything in their own countries. So the $300 energy was, and people will take it gladly, but I think the government could have got away with the tax cuts as their fight against inflation without overdoing it. And Australians would have expected a great deal more on productivity and investment and structural reform. So on the one hand, yes, the giveaways will give a political benefit. But I don't think long-term. I think Australians are looking for a structured attack on the cost of living crisis.
Simon, what's your read on the polling? There's various surveys out today. We've been focusing on the news poll because that's the one we traditionally look at as an indicator. And looking back over the terms or many terms that I've covered politics, it's often the case that a government is behind in the opinion polls about now. This government's not, so that would give them some solace.
That's right. Like if you look across the average of the polls, we've never had even a first-term government that's remained in front this far into its electoral terms. Now, there's no guarantee. I mean, whether you're a government or opposition, you really only need to get your main game right in the last 6 months, so I don't think the government should at all be complacent. As Peter said, I think Australian voters are pretty economically literate, and I think one of the reasons we'll see is that, there's a reaction to any budget, whether it's good, bad or indifferent, but usually from most voters it's not a particularly strong one. Where they actually do notice it is when the money starts hitting their bank account, or in this case also comes off their electricity bills. I think that's the point where particularly swinging voters will pay a little bit more attention, so we won't see that into July and August. And of course the big challenge the government's got, and one that it's set itself, is to continue to bring inflation down so that hopefully whether it's later this year or more likely early next year, we get some not only easing of inflation, but obviously the chance of an interest rate cut.
Peter, your former boss, Mr. Howard, he used to say you can't fatten the pig on market day. Do you think that Peter Dutton's starting to put a bit of detail where he needs to when it comes to policy?
Absolutely. I think he's been extremely shrewd in the issues he's picked up on. Nuclear power, not that in itself is going to win an election, but it feeds into the renewable industry inefficiency and high costs. And now he's tackling housing. The mood's cranky, Kieran. We all know that. It's going to take a lot for a government to be re-elected in its own right. Notwithstanding, there's a long way to go, and many of the old analysis and idioms of politics are out the window anyway. So both sides have every opportunity from here on in to win over at the next election. Of course, incumbency gives you the edge or the favoured status. So Dutton is shrewd, he's clever, he's picking up on the right issues, and it's fertile ground for an opposition leader.
Yeah, indeed it is. As you said, when people are cranky, there are a few things that can shift though if rates start to come down, if the Treasury was right in terms of its projections. The one thing I picked up as well in this poll that was interesting, Simon, is that not only, I think Peter's right that Peter Dutton is finding that mojo as opposition leader, but Anthony Albanese's back to neutral territory in his approval rating. He's consolidated, he's regrouped since the Voice referendum.
Yeah, he has, because he's basically returned to those bread and butter issues that voters are most concerned about, and which the ultimate election will be fought on. And I think one of the issues for Peter Dutton is that he's He's picking the right issues. I mean, there's no doubt that housing is a big issue out there in the electorate and people are focused on it. But as everyone with any kind of interest in actually finding a genuine solution to the problem says, we need supply side solutions. We need to actually just go out there and build more houses. And of course, Peter Dutton opposes the government's policies that are designed to do that. And on the flip side, one of his biggest policies, which is allowing you to use your superannuation for housing, will just inflate house prices. Now, that's what all of the experts, all the economists agree on. So I give him credit for picking the right issue. His big problem is that he hasn't actually got the solutions that Australians need.
Dan Tehan, the Shadow Immigration Minister, is going to join me shortly. Peter McGauran, is there some concern around higher education in relation to the Coalition's strategy on this one?
Certainly, you have to be very aware of the economic and cultural importance of international students, but there are still those critical issues of housing, infrastructure, congestion and so on. So we've got to strike the balance. The universities will push in one direction and we've got to find the equilibrium.
That, Simon, is something that would resonate with a lot of voters.
No, it will, but I think the issue here, for example, you've got a government which is saying to the university sector, look, if you want to bring more people in, you've got to build more housing in order to look after them. That seems a pretty reasonable compromise. Peter Dutton's basically saying that he's going to effectively gut the international education sector, and that's going to mean a loss of jobs, a loss of productivity, a loss of economic growth and a loss of tax, all out of the back of all of that. And with his migration changes, again, I don't think he's thought through the detail. I mean, it's fine for him to say, for example, he's going to protect bringing tradies in to build more houses. But big shortages we've got across the care economy, like nurses, doctors, aged care workers and the like. And he's basically waving the white flag on all of those. So if you want to go and see a doctor, if you want to go into a hospital and have a procedure done, I think any Australian who's wandered into one of our public or private hospitals over the last couple of years knows that we're very dependent upon that foreign workforce coming in. So where's Peter Dutton going to get those workers from when Australians need them?
Simon, thank you very much. Peter McGauran, we'll see you next week.